Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show, A Mexican Crossing Lines, PsyOp BS Part 13. Tell your friends to join us. We're on YouTube at Duke1517, Facebook at 88.1 Fargo Moorhead Radio, and Twitch at A Mexican Crossing Lines.
That's right. You can follow us on all our socials. Some of them are YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at Gomez-Schempp, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you can also email us at cindy@kpppfm.com or duke@kpppfm.com. You can also call and leave us a message on our call-in line.
Yes.
701-566-0917.
Leave a message. We'll get back to you. Leave a comment. We may play it on the air. We're also broadcasting on 88.1 KPPP LP. We're a radio station in Fargo Moorhead. And we're on the air everywhere.
That's right. You are listening to your hosts, Cindy Gomez-Schempp
And Duke Gomez-Schempp.
here on 88.1 FM, KPPPLP Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. And I don't even know if this should be a PsyOp series show, but I'm putting it in the PsyOp series because it connects to everything that we are exposing, all of the lies, all of the fraud, all of the ugliness that came out of Standing Rock, which was promoted and funded and supported by Wes Clark Jr. and his minions, the people at TYT, the people at the Veterans Stand for Standing Rock, the NGOs and nonprofits here in Minnesota and North Dakota that he supported through his PR machines, through his PR people connected to Winnie Wong, Seven McDonald, Maggie Day, Trevor Fitzgibbons, and Zalkowski, that whole mess of people over there.
Yeah, I see how it all connects. You know, it's just Wesley Clark had so many connections, and this whole Standing Rock, that's his cred that he's putting out on PsyOp BS, American PsyOp, and all that. It's very connected. And, you know, Winona LaDuke, very connected to the corruption also. And it's very important information you have tonight. I'm very excited to help you share it.
Well, we were talking, and we had gotten up to talking about the connections between Wes Clark Jr. and the people that invited him or suggested that he go out to Standing Rock. People like Sean Stone, the son of Oliver Stone, right? People closely connected to the people that produced this series and Wes Clark Jr. And just so that you are aware, there was an American PsyOp podcast series to which I have been responding for the last 12 episodes of the the PsyOp BS series of shows I've been doing. And Wes Clark went to Emily Bicks, a journalist and actress, and a director and editor, Jack Bryan, as well as Stacey, Sher, and Marley Clements, and they were executive produced in their podcast series by Grant DeSimone, Brent Meiselas, etc. Now, we left off on our last show with an exclusive never before aired in Wes Clark Jr., dating all the way back to 2018 when I last spoke to him, so that I could prove to you that unlike what he said in his American PsyOp podcast, he was not freaked out about talking to me. He was very calm and collected. He was initially upset with me because of what I exposed about him and his friends, Seven McDonald, Sedef Buyakataman and her daddy, and what they were all up to at Wes's house in California. And he had stated in the American PsyOp series that we intimidated him, that you and I, Duke, brought him to the brink of killing himself.
Really?
With madness. Yes. And therefore, that's when he quit talking to us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
From what you heard on that interview, over an hour-long interview, and that was just part of what we discussed on that particular day.
Yeah, there's 50, 60, 70 hours worth of interviews.
This man was not tired of talking to me. He didn't end our conversation as if we would never speak again. And he was certainly still hoping that he had his claws in us.
Yeah.
That he had us hoodwinked. But we became wiser over time.
Yep,
and I want to bring everyone back to the connections between Wes Clark and his veterans at Standing Rock and the sellouts and the phonies that were harming and defrauding the community here in Minnesota and North Dakota. All of those fake culty, fake shamany, fake religiosity of individuals that we saw in the leadership of Standing Rock, in organizations that were led by people that were working closely to Wes Clark, such as Sean Stone, the son of the Hollywood movie director Oliver Stone, of the IAM Cult, the GAIA Media Network, the Russian television news show Watching Hawks, which interviewed a lot of people from Standing Rock, including Wes Clark, including Phyllis Young, including Winona LaDuke. And Winona LaDuke is part of the Honor the Earth organization, or at least she was up until very recently. And members of that organization that she had on her board, or that she had as her agents or treasurers, people working on that Honor the Earth organization, the Indigo Girls, Nahko Bear, and the Medicine People, and Medicine for the People. And activist and unregistered, unlicensed in the state of Minnesota or North Dakota that I can find, lawyer Tara Houska. Tara Houska was part of the Red Warrior camp. Tara Houska wasn't just working for Honor the Earth and Winona LaDuke, mentored by Winona LaDuke. She also was the liaison to the Bernie Sanders campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Let us not forget she was wearing a lot of hats. And she was also the agent in charge of the money at the Freshet.
That's right.
That at some point merged with the Water Protector Legal Collective. These are two organizations, nonprofit organizations, raising money for legal defense of water protectors arrested at pipeline protests, including Standing Rock, specifically for Standing Rock, but after that for other pipeline protests.
Exactly.
And today I'm going to focus on some interesting developments in the stories of those people. Tara Houska, Honor the Earth. Tara Houska, the lawyer and activist tied to the Bernie Sanders campaign, and Honor the Earth, and members of that organization, including Winona LaDuke. And I wanted to start off the whole thing by looking at a post made by the Angry Ojibwe Women's Chronicles. It's kind of funny and tongue-in-cheek, but I also think it's very pointed at what is happening that is not being discussed in the mainstream media, maybe except for at 88.1 FM radio.
There you go.
It is a local story happening right here in Minnesota and North Dakota. Right now you have people from these organizations fighting against the pipeline project that was just opened up by Biden in Alaska and in Line 3. They're still fighting all of those battles. And so I think it's really interesting that no major news networks in the area have carried or publicized this story hardly at all. And to me, it is huge news, just as huge as Standing Rock was,
Yeah.
which was also not very well covered in our local media.
Mm-hmm.
So Angry Ojibwe Women's Chronicles posted this post, and it starts out this way. It was posted on April 5th of 2023.
Okay.
The LaDuke debacle.
Oh.
Boy, it's been a long time since everyone is accessing the 2015 public letter about Honor the Earth, a.k.a. Winona LaDuke debacle. I wish they would quit taking it like a National Enquirer read, as a Paul DeMann Pecker News from Indian Country read. Read the real thing. Go back to the Becker court records and dig into the juicy stuff. It is hilarious that the Trump indictment fell on the same day that the Honor the Earth, a.k.a. Winona LaDuke, decision fell. That National Enquirer, Pecker, and Paul DeMann are both publishers behind behind these national figures. That the Pope rescinded the doctrine of discovery on the same day that Gwyneth Paltrow walked out of the courtroom scot-free on the same day. Lol. Yes, it's been quite an exciting day for this angry Ojibwe woman. Paul says it's going to bury Honor the Earth. She handed in her resignation. They're talking about Winona, Duke.
Okay.
So instead, they formed a new nonprofit.
Of course.
A king. Paul is on the board, along with the lawsuit attorney. Jumping ship, letting Honor the Earth sink, as they hired a bright young Indian woman as captain. Wonder if the Indigo Girls will stay aboard. Yes. Quite interesting for this old Indian woman. As I sat in the court at 6:30 p.m. that night with another kukum waiting for when I was victimized by the person who sexually harassed the person bringing suit, and for finally bringing justice to the white earth community through this lawsuit against Honor the Earth, the White Earth Land Reclamation Project, a.k.a. Winona LaDuke. I thought about how Vogue described Gwyneth Paltrow's court dressing style all week. Quote, in court, she keeps it natural and neutral in khaki, navy, tan, gray, or white. That's fittingly as pure as the driven snow. All week, Winona came in dressed in a crazy Levi jacket with some emblem on the back, a long denim skirt, and an Arizona wide-brimmed hat. Then she came in wearing a ribbon skirt, the Levi jacket, and the crazy Arizona wide-brimmed hat. Her crazy little hippie fan club tagging along with the stars in their eyes, same dress code. Shame on you for bashing women, you say. What is wrong with you? I'm an angry Ojibwe woman. God damn it. Read the goddamn transcript, Winona. I don't know how many times I told Molly to dress more appropriately, quote unquote. The white earth community is very conservative, quote unquote. Attorneys asked Winona why it's okay for Mike Dahl to comment on Molly's dress attire. Mike is two-spirited, which means he has a little old woman in him. He has social Tourette's, quote unquote. She kept saying that over and over. Winona kept saying that. She painted herself as pure as the driven snow. Dirty as hell, I tell ya. Little blonde hippie girls just looked on at her like a cult following. Me sitting behind the victim the only Indian all week, the only survivor of missing and murdered Indigenous women and men, boarding schools, and LaDuke that would actually live to tell the story. If you go back far enough in this, the Angry Ojibwe Woman Chronicles, it all started because of her. They ain't done yet. Tomorrow we'll get into the court records. Stay tuned. Winona is up to some dirty tricks, and the